Chosen one, major days have been declared for you by God. Pay attention, it's unfolding now. Something has shifted, not just in your life, not just in your thoughts, but in the entire atmosphere surrounding you. There is an energy stirring. It's subtle, yet undeniable. You feel it, don't you? Like the hush before a great unveiling. The sense that something immense is approaching you, silently but swiftly. These are not ordinary days. These are major days, and they have been announced for you, not by man, not by chance, but by divine design. You've been chosen for something beyond the natural, beyond what you've seen, beyond what you've even dared to imagine. And now, the countdown has begun. Before we move forward, I ask you with sincerity, stay with this message until the very end. Let every word settle into your soul, like truth returning home. And when you're ready, write your warmest wishes in the comments below, followed by the number 99. Let the universe know you're ready. Let the divine timing see your light shine back. This is more than a message. It is a spiritual alignment. It is an energetic agreement that you're finally saying yes to everything that was always meant to be yours. These major days that have been declared over you will not look like your past. They will not resemble the struggles you came through. They are not simply a continuation. They are a divine departure, a reset, an announcement that your story is about to shift scenes. You have endured storms no one saw. You have cried in silence when the world thought you were fine. But the heavens saw, the universe witnessed, and now the response has arrived. It's your time. It won't all happen in one instant, but you will feel it in phases. An opportunity here, a revelation there, a door opening unexpectedly, a conversation that leads to destiny. Things you thought were coincidences will start to feel orchestrated. They are. These days have been reserved for you. The appointments are not random. The signs are not abstract. They are tailored to your path, woven with your energy, alive with your calling. You might have felt invisible for a long time, passed over, overlooked, questioned, forgotten. But listen closely. Those silent seasons weren't punishment. They were preparation. You weren't being denied. You were being developed. The seed doesn't bloom until it's ready. And now you are ready, rooted, rising. The noise of the world may have tried to drown out your purpose, but the announcement still reached your soul. Major days are here. Your intuition has already been whispering it. You've had those moments recently, where the same numbers keep appearing, where the energy in a room shifts when you enter, where your dreams are more vivid, where your body feels something you can't explain. That's not random. That's not fatigue. That's alignment. That's acceleration. That's the divine trying to catch your attention. Listen, it's happening. This announcement is not just about you. It's about what's coming through you. Ideas, movements, awakenings, shifts. You are being activated as a vessel for change, for light, for truth. And for that to happen, things in your life must align with purpose. So don't be surprised if people exit, if things break, if certain paths close. That's not loss. That's divine editing. That's preparation for what these major days are about to bring. Clarity is coming. Direction is coming. Resources are coming. And not in small ways. These are major days, not minor upgrades, not slight improvements, but radical shifts, unexpected promotions, miraculous recoveries, powerful reunions, sudden breakthroughs, things that don't make sense logically but feel entirely right spiritually. You won't have to force them. They'll flow to you, effortlessly, naturally, with grace. You were never meant to chase everything. You were meant to attract what aligns with your essence. And these upcoming days are a magnet for everything your higher self has been calling in. You may not recognize it at first. It may come wrapped in unfamiliar situations, but trust your inner knowing. It will feel like home, even if it looks new. Your spirit will confirm what your eyes can't yet see. Don't doubt yourself in this season. Don't shrink. Don't overanalyze. This is not the time for hesitation. This is the time for bold belief, for aligned action, for sacred confidence. You are stepping into what was always meant for you, not by accident, but by divine appointment. And no one can take what's been assigned to you. No delay, no detour, no denial can erase the days that have your name on them. And while it may feel unfamiliar, that's only because you're stepping into a version of yourself you haven't fully met yet. But he is ready. And they've been waiting for this moment. Waiting for you to remember who you are. Waiting for you to accept the assignment. Waiting for you to stop asking for permission and start stepping into position. These are major days, and major roles come with them. Watch how things rearrange around you, how people begin to treat you differently, how energy clears itself, how distractions dissolve. Don't cling to what fades. If it's leaving, it's because it can't walk with you into what's next. If it's being removed, it's because it doesn't match the frequency of your future. Let go with grace. Let go knowing that something greater is arriving in its place. In the quiet moments, affirm this truth. Everything that is for me is making its way to me now. Say it out loud. Let your voice be part of the announcement. Let your vibration echo the truth of your timeline. Because that's how fast things will begin to move. At the speed of your belief, at the pace of your trust. And if doubts come, if fear tries to whisper lies, remember this. You didn't choose this timing. This timing chose you. And it chose you because you're ready. It chose you because you've grown through the fire. Because your heart stayed open even when it was breaking. Because you've kept showing up even when everything told you to stop. That is strength. That is faith. That is the reason this moment is now yours. The days ahead will not just inspire you, they will confirm you. They will validate everything your soul already knew. That you were born for more. That you are being guided. That this life is not random. That you are seen, heard, held. That no tear was wasted. That every delay was divine. That what's coming is so worth everything you've been through. And this is only the beginning. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be for what is about to unfold. Let that truth settle into your heart like a calming wave. Because for too long, you've carried the weight of what if. What if I missed it? What if I'm not enough? What if it's too late? But chosen one, the divine, doesn't operate on your clock. It works through divine timing. And that timing is now turning in your favor. These major days are not concerned with your past mistakes. They are aligned with your growth. Every lesson you learned the hard way, every tear you cried in silence, every moment you chose to rise when it would have been easier to quit. Those things activated what's now arriving. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is reward. This is justice. This is a shift in the heavens announcing it's your time to receive. You'll notice it first in your spirit. That subtle but persistent feeling that something is on its way. A stirring, a quickening. It might even confuse you at times because you'll feel excitement without knowing exactly why. That's divine confirmation. That's your internal radar sensing the arrival of what your soul already agreed to long before you ever knew what this journey would look like. And yes, There will still be moments where fear tries to whisper, where the old programming tries to convince you that this too will vanish, that maybe it's just your imagination. But you know better now. You've come too far. You've grown too deep. You've learned to listen to what can't be seen. You've sharpened your sensitivity to truth. You feel it even when logic argues against it. And still, you know, major days will often arrive disguised in simple moments. A message you didn't expect, a decision that leads to alignment, a gut feeling that says, go there, or don't call back. Don't dismiss these nudges. The universe speaks softly when the stakes are highest. It won't shout, it'll whisper. And if you're quiet enough, if your heart is open enough, you'll hear the direction in the stillness. Let go of the need to control how it all unfolds. That need comes from old wounds, not your spirit. These blessings don't need your anxiety. They need your agreement. You don't need to chase them. You need to trust them. These major days are not coming because you force them. They're coming because you're aligned with them. Your energy called them in. Your growth opened the gates. Your surrender unlocked what effort never could. This season will feel lighter, not because life will be easy, but because you'll finally stop resisting the flow. You'll feel things lifting off of you that you didn't even realize were weighing you down. Old doubts will loosen. Heavy connections will fade. You'll feel the difference in your body, your emotions, your decisions. You'll feel more like yourself than you've ever felt, and yet more powerful than you've ever been. That's what alignment feels like. That's what divine days feel like. You won't need external proof right away to know something is different. Your inner atmosphere will shift first. The peace will come before the promotion. The clarity will precede the confirmation. You'll feel it internally before it ever shows externally. And that's how you'll know it's real. Real change always starts within. Don't get distracted by people who can't see what's happening in you. Don't shrink to fit back into their comfort zones. Not everyone will recognize your transformation, and that's okay. Some people are not meant to understand your glow-up because they were never meant to walk with you into this chapter. They were part of the preparation, not the presentation. This announcement is personal. It's not for the world to validate. It's for you to embody. You'll walk differently now. Think differently. Speak with intention. Move with confidence. Not because you're trying to impress, but because you finally remember who you are. This is what happens when alignment meets anointing, when purpose meets power, when destiny meets divine timing. You won't need to convince anyone. You won't need to explain. The results will speak. The shifts will be visible, and your life will begin to reflect the inner healing you've done. Watch how fast things begin to rearrange. Watch how quickly the puzzle pieces fall into place. It may look sudden to others, but you know the truth. You know this was years in the making. You know the nights you spent believing in silence, the tears that watered your transformation. This is the harvest. These are the major days, and they won't just bless you. They'll overflow into the lives of those connected to you. The way you show up now will give others permission to rise too. You will be a lighthouse, a mirror, a spark. The changes in your life will inspire ripple effects. People will look at your glow and remember their own. They will see your shift and believe it's possible for them too. That's the ripple of purpose. So protect your energy. Guard your peace. Don't waste time proving what is already promised. Don't let old fears taint this new season. Don't revisit chapters that were closed for a reason. This is not the time to explain. This is the time to execute. This is not the season for second guessing. It's the season for receiving. And yes, receiving is a practice. Sometimes the hardest thing is to believe we're finally worthy of good things, that we don't have to earn every drop, that we can simply receive because we exist, because we are, because we were always meant to. Let yourself receive. Let the doors open. Let the days flow. Everything you need for this chapter is already on its way. The people, the opportunities, the clarity, the resources, the timing, and the most powerful part, it's not just coming to you, it's being drawn by you. You are the magnet now. You are the signal. Your very presence is commanding the shift. The days are rearranging because you decided to trust. The energy is responding to your inner yes. Don't forget, these are not average days. They are major, marked, meaningful. You are not entering them by accident. You were called into them, and soon you will see why. Everything around you is starting to vibrate at a new frequency. Things you once tolerated are beginning to feel uncomfortable. Environments that once felt safe now seem limiting. Conversations that used to engage you might now drain you. This is not a sign of arrogance, it's a sign of alignment. When your spirit grows, your surroundings must stretch with it, and if they don't, they fall away. It's not personal, it's spiritual. You're not who you were last season. That version of you was necessary to survive, to endure, to gather wisdom. But the version of you that's stepping forward now is here to thrive, to lead, to embody truth. There's a maturity growing inside you, and with it comes responsibility to protect your light, to stand in your worth, and to walk with intention. This is not the time to play small or shrink back into old patterns of hesitation. And yes, the shift will be uncomfortable. Growth always is. When the universe rearranges your path, it often removes what is no longer aligned before introducing what is. This can look like confusion, loss, stillness, silence. But don't mistake that quiet for absence. Don't mistake it for abandonment. It's construction. It's the divine setting up the infrastructure for the next version of your life. You'll feel it as people leave without warning, as opportunities close that once seemed perfect, as things fall through. Let them. What's leaving your life now is doing so to make space for what's coming. These major days are not built on clutter, they are built on clarity. You will not carry what no longer belongs to your elevation. This is why you're being called to rest more, to move intentionally, to spend more time in stillness, not because you're lazy, but because your spirit needs preparation. Because the expansion that's coming will require a full version of you, not a burned-out one. Because the days ahead will be demanding in a beautiful way, and you will need your full energy to sustain the blessings that are on their way. Your schedule is shifting because your assignment is evolving. Your relationships are shifting because your energy is ascending. Your desires are shifting because your destiny is activating. The things you once longed for no longer satisfy you because your soul is now reaching for something deeper, something more aligned with who you truly are. You're beginning to understand that fulfillment doesn't come from chasing, it comes from embodying. That peace doesn't come from external validation, but from internal integrity. You're starting to realize that not everyone has to understand your journey for it to be valid. Your calling doesn't need to be co-signed to be real. You're walking a path that is uniquely yours, and it won't always make sense to others. Sometimes it won't even make sense to you, but you'll feel it. You'll feel when something is right, even if it scares you. You'll feel when something is wrong, even if it looks good on paper. That's your intuition. That's your divine compass. and it's getting stronger. You're no longer settling for half answers. You're no longer accepting lukewarm energy. You're no longer making excuses for people who drain you. Why? Because the days you're stepping into are sacred, and you can't afford to carry dead weight into sacred space. These days have been announced for you, and your only job is to be ready. Ready doesn't mean perfect. Ready means willing. Willing to listen. Willing to let go. Willing to be uncomfortable. Willing to step out in faith, even when your legs are shaking. The most powerful thing you can say in this season is "I trust," even if you don't know all the steps, even if the path is unclear. Trust is the doorway to the divine. Watch how trust transforms everything. The moment you let go of forcing, things begin to flow. The moment you surrender, clarity starts to arrive. The moment you release the how, the when starts to show up. That's the rhythm of the universe. It doesn't operate through force. It responds to surrender. And as you continue on this path, you'll notice a new kind of strength rising in you. Not the kind of strength that fights to be heard, but the kind that knows silence is powerful. Not the strength that hustles to prove itself, but the strength that understands presence is enough. Not the strength that holds everything together, but the kind that lets things fall apart when they no longer serve. This is divine maturity. This is spiritual evolution. You are not here to impress. You are here to impact. And your impact won't always be loud. Sometimes your light will heal rooms without saying a word. Sometimes your peace will be the loudest thing in chaotic spaces. Sometimes your very presence will be a reminder that elevation is possible, that healing is real, that transformation isn't a myth. It's happening, and it's happening in you. You're no longer walking around hoping for crumbs. You are attracting tables, rooms, realms. You are being aligned with people who speak the same frequency, who don't just see your potential, but respect your presence. Your energy is sacred now, and you've learned to treat it that way. Not everyone gets access. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every opportunity is aligned with your path, and that's the power you now walk in. The ability to say no with grace, to walk away without bitterness, to rest without guilt, to shine without shrinking. These are the signs that your energy has finally arrived where your spirit was always meant to be. No more doubting your worth. No more questioning your voice. No more second-guessing your decisions. You have earned this moment. Not because of how perfect you've been, but because of how real you've stayed. Through every storm, through every setback, through every delay, you kept going. And that endurance has not gone unnoticed. You will be rewarded, not just with things, but with peace, with alignment, with power, with revelation, with connections that feel like home, with opportunities that feel like destiny, with clarity that feels like freedom. These are the blessings that come when major days arrive. So walk boldly, speak clearly, rest confidently. The divine is walking with you. The energy is moving for you. The universe is aligning around you. You are not waiting anymore. You are walking. You are arriving. You are receiving. And this is only the beginning. You don't have to go back to what you outgrew. That cycle is complete. That version of your life has served its purpose. You've crossed an invisible line, and what's behind you no longer fits the frequency of what you've become. And you can feel it. You feel it when you try to explain your dreams to people who can't hear you. You feel it when you walk into rooms that used to excite you, but now only drain your soul. You feel it when your old habits start to lose their grip, and your spirit whispers, "We're done with this." This isn't emptiness. it's evolution. You're becoming too full of purpose to be satisfied by patterns. You're becoming too conscious to live on autopilot, too aware to pretend you don't feel the shifts. The days you're stepping into are sacred, and sacred seasons demand sacred decisions. You don't just say yes out of habit anymore. You don't entertain distractions out of loneliness. You don't settle for comfort when your calling is calling, and that calling is getting louder. The more you honor it, the more it rewards you. The more you listen to your inner knowing, the more peace it brings. You're starting to see that everything you were searching for outside of you was always trying to awaken inside you. The love, the peace, the direction, the certainty. It's all been waiting for you to stop chasing and start choosing. This is what major days look like. They require a higher version of you to stand up. Not a perfect version, but a true one, a grounded one, a soul-led one. The days ahead are not about pretending to be something you're not. They're about becoming more of what you already are, without shame, without filter, without fear. You'll begin to notice how ease finds you. You'll notice how alignment makes things feel smoother, not effortless, but natural, authentic. You won't have to convince, perform, or manipulate. Things will start coming together without the push. This is because you're now attracting from truth, not survival. From clarity, not confusion. From power, not pressure. And when things don't align, you won't beg anymore. You won't fight what's leaving. You won't argue with closed doors. Because now, you understand that rejection is protection. That delay is direction. That the detour was always divine. The sting may still hurt, but you no longer let it change your course. You've learned how to bless it and release it. That strength is part of what's making you unstoppable in this season. Not the kind of strength that hardens you, but the kind that humbles you. The kind that lets you stay soft in a harsh world. The kind that lets you rest without guilt. The kind that lets you trust even when you don't have all the answers. Because now, you know that your soul is guiding you towards something bigger. These major days are not just about success. They're about alignment. They're about fulfillment. They're about waking up with purpose and going to sleep in peace. They're about creating a life that makes your spirit feel alive, not just your ego feel validated. You're not chasing the crowd anymore. You're following your calling. And your calling is magnetic. It will draw the right people to you, the right places, the right timing. You won't have to manipulate your way into rooms. You'll be invited, not because you asked, but because you became undeniable. Your energy is becoming too aligned to be overlooked. Your frequency is rising beyond invisibility. And yes, some people will still misunderstand you. Some will try to project their own fears onto your boldness. Some will assume your confidence is arrogance. But you've come too far to let their shadows dim your light. You're not here to shrink for anyone. You're not here to fit into boxes that were never built for your truth. You're here to take up space, not out of ego, but out of purpose. You are here to live fully, freely, faithfully. So don't apologize for your evolution. Don't apologize for your elevation. Don't explain your glow. Don't negotiate your worth. Don't dilute your essence for comfort's sake. You're not becoming too much. You're becoming exactly who you were always meant to be. And as you continue to evolve, you'll notice how synchronicities increase. You'll see repeated signs, perfect timing, messages that feel made for you. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. That's divine alignment reminding you, keep going. You're on the right path, even when it's quiet, even when it's lonely, even when it's slow. You are exactly where you need to be. You are becoming a living example of what happens when someone refuses to settle, when someone decides to trust, when someone chooses to listen to their inner knowing even when it doesn't make sense. That kind of energy is powerful. That kind of authenticity is rare. That kind of soul-led life is what changes timelines. And that's what you're doing. You're shifting not just your future, but the future of those around you. Your healing will inspire healing. Your elevation will challenge others to rise. Your courage will wake people up. You were never just changing your life. You were shifting the atmosphere. That's why it felt heavy. That's why it felt personal. Because it was. The pain you endured wasn't random. The isolation wasn't punishment. The silence wasn't rejection. It was preparation. For now. For this. For the days ahead. The major days that will validate every moment you thought the divine forgot you. Every moment you almost gave up. Every prayer that felt unanswered. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was ignored. Nothing was in vain. These are the days where it all starts to make sense. And still, this is only the beginning. This next phase won't be built on hustle. It will be built on harmony. You've entered a season where alignment speaks louder than effort, where you no longer have to push to prove anything, where your very presence carries the weight of your truth. What used to take months will now take moments. What used to feel like an uphill climb will begin to feel like gliding. This is not magic. This is not chance. This is divine momentum, meeting your readiness. You've done the inner work. You've dug into the deepest parts of yourself, faced shadows, released old attachments, sat in the silence until clarity arrived. And because of that, the ground beneath you is no longer shaky. It's sacred, solid, steady. You're not standing in the same place you once did. You've risen, and the energy around you is beginning to reflect that rise. Now doors will open, not because you knock harder, but because you're aligned with the frequency of those doors. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You need only to be yourself, fully, boldly, honestly. That authenticity will be your access pass. It will bring you into rooms you didn't even know existed. Opportunities that others strive for will find their way to you, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you resonated the truest. This is the reward of energetic clarity. When you become clear on who you are, what you want, and what you won't tolerate, the universe doesn't hesitate. It responds. It arranges. It releases and delivers. And when something doesn't come, it's not a failure. It's redirection, protection. You've learned that now. You've learned how to interpret delay as divine defense, how to view disappointment as correction, not condemnation. That wisdom is what separates who you are now from who you were then. And still, you're not done becoming. These major days will continue to stretch you, not in painful ways, but in purposeful ones. You'll be asked to expand your thinking, your reach, your belief in what's possible. You'll be called to higher conversations, elevated action, to live in alignment with the life you've always known was yours deep down. No more talking about it. Now is the time to embody it. And as you do, you'll begin to witness how everything starts shifting to support you. You'll find yourself meeting the right people at the right time, discovering hidden strengths you never knew you had, being asked to speak, to share, to lead, not because you sought attention, but because your essence now speaks volumes. That's what divine activation looks like. You don't have to demand. Your presence commands. This is what the major days are unlocking in you. A version of you who no longer waits for permission, who no longer fears rejection, who no longer feels guilty for dreaming big. You are finally starting to see what was always true. You were never too much. You were simply surrounded by environments too small. But that is changing now. You're stepping into rooms that were designed for your energy, spaces that don't just accept you, but celebrate you. You're finally meeting people who don't question your depth, your sensitivity, your vision, but honor it. You're being aligned with your tribe, your team, your soul circle, the kind of connection that nourishes, not depletes. And in these connections, you'll find mirrors, not masks, reflections of your growth, not reminders of your past. People who challenge you to rise, not guilt you into shrinking. This is sacred ground. And it's not just meant to comfort you, it's meant to activate you. Because the days ahead require more than just healing. They require boldness. You will be asked to show up, to share your truth, to be visible in a world that's been trying to make you invisible. But now, you're ready. You're not afraid of being seen, because you're no longer ashamed of your story. Every scar has become a symbol, every wound, a weapon of wisdom, every detour, a part of the divine route. You've transformed your pain into power. That's why you walk differently now. Why your words carry weight. Why your silence holds space. You don't react from wounds anymore. You respond from wisdom. You don't rush to fix. You hold space to feel. That's emotional maturity. That's soul authority. And that's why this chapter feels so different. You're living from wholeness now, not hunger. You're no longer desperate for validation. You've become your own source of assurance. You don't beg to belong. You build from belonging to yourself. And in that deep-rooted self-awareness, you've become unshakable. So when things try to challenge you in this season, when old triggers rise, when obstacles appear, don't shrink, don't revert, don't entertain the old patterns. Rise above. Observe without reacting. Trust your growth. These are not signs of regression. They are invitations to respond differently. They're the final tests before the next blessing. And yes, you will be tested. Not because the divine wants you to suffer, but because it wants you to solidify. Every expansion requires stability. These tests are not punishments. They're calibrations. They're making sure your character can carry what your spirit has called in, that your integrity can hold what your intentions requested. Pass the test not by doing more, but by being more present, more grounded, more aligned. Let your actions come from a place of knowing, not proving. Let your boundaries speak for you. Let your peace protect you. Let your discernment guide you. You've earned this era, not just with your work, but with your willingness to stay soft in a hard world, to believe again when everything told you not to keep moving when everything tried to stop you. That faith, that fire, that quiet determination is the reason these major days are now yours, and you will never go back. This is the moment where you become everything your younger self prayed for. The version of you that once doubted, once feared, once begged for a sign, has now become the sign. You are living proof that endurance births elevation, that patience breeds power, that silence isn't emptiness, but sacred space, where transformation happens quietly. You are walking evidence that alignment is real, and it is now. You're not just changing your life, you're changing the atmosphere around you. Your mindset, your presence, your vibration is affecting everything you touch. And that's exactly how it was meant to be. These major days were never just for you to enjoy in isolation. They were meant to ripple into the world. Your peace will pour into others. Your courage will stir awakenings. Your joy will unlock possibility in hearts that forgot how to believe. That's the magnitude of what you're carrying now. It's not a burden. It's a blessing. It's the evidence that your soul survived every fire, that it wasn't crushed, it was cleansed, refined, reforged. You've emerged from the dark with a light that can't be dimmed. And now, that light is calling in everything you need, everything you dreamed, everything that was delayed for the sake of divine timing. You're in a different frequency now, and you feel it. You feel it when your boundaries become clear, when your no becomes powerful, when your energy refuses to entertain confusion. You're no longer begging for love. You're embodying it. You're no longer chasing validation. You're grounded in truth. You're no longer seeking safety outside of you. You've built it inside. You understand now. The waiting was never wasted. The stillness was never punishment. It was permission to breathe, to realign, to remember. You see now that some delays were actually gifts. Gifts wrapped in confusion, disguised as detours, but designed to deepen your foundation. Because what you're stepping into next needed the strongest, clearest version of you. And here you are, ready. You are ready to walk into rooms that once intimidated you, ready to speak words that heal, uplift, and awaken, ready to show up fully in spaces where you used to shrink, ready to create, lead, build, serve, not from ego, but from purpose. These are not just goals. These are soul contracts now being fulfilled. Your purpose doesn't need to be grand to be powerful. It just needs to be real. Some of the most powerful shifts will happen quietly, through your presence, your integrity, your decisions. The way you show up in everyday life matters now more than ever. The world doesn't need perfection. It needs authenticity, and you've become a beacon of that. There will be moments of disbelief, of awe, where the blessings begin to arrive and your heart struggles to keep up with the magnitude of it all. And in those moments, remind yourself, you didn't stumble into this. You aligned with it. You didn't just survive to survive. You were being shaped for something bigger. You didn't come this far to question the arrival. You came this far to embrace it. Let the blessings in. Let the newness feel good. Let the peace feel real. Let the love feel true. Don't second guess it. Don't sabotage it. Don't run from it. This is the moment your past self dreamed about. You owe it to every version of you who kept going to now receive, openly, fully, with gratitude and without guilt. This is what you've been prepared for. These major days are not a pause, they are a launch. You're being accelerated into timelines that once felt unreachable. What used to take years can now manifest in months. What once felt impossible is now aligning effortlessly, because you've been doing the internal work, because your frequency matches your future, because the divine has cleared the runway, and now it's your time to rise. Don't look back. Don't look down. Don't slow down for those who chose to stay asleep when you decided to awaken. This path is not for the faint of heart, but your heart has proven itself brave again and again. You've loved when it hurt. You've hoped when it didn't make sense. You've kept going when no one clapped. You've shown the kind of strength that can't be taught. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you chosen. Chosen not because you're better than others, but because you were willing to say yes when it was hardest. Willing to trust when it was darkest. Willing to become when it was loneliest. And now, that willingness has unlocked everything. The veil is lifted. The path is lit. And you are no longer wandering. You are being guided. From this point forward, everything changes. You'll begin to see connections that make you stop and smile. Paths that cross with purpose. Miracles that unfold without warning. You'll witness divine choreography at its finest. How everything that once confused you now becomes crystal clear. That's the beauty of divine timing. It never arrives early, it never shows up late. It comes the moment you're ready, and not a second before. And you are ready to love, to lead, to create, to receive, to be seen for who you truly are, to rise into the life that was always encoded in your spirit before the world tried to dim it. These are your days now, marked by clarity, fueled by faith, surrounded by favor. Step into them without hesitation. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and it's all happening now.